Okay, here we have my pretend photo gallery that I'm going to create. I have some images. I've created a folder just in my documents thing called photo gallery. It is in this area here that I will store my HTML files, and I've created a folder called images, and inside images I have some selected photos that I can use for my photo gallery. They've all been taken with the same camera, i.e. my iPhone. Some different things, you can see the size there coming up, 2592 by 1936, so they're all the same size and they've just been taken in the last week or so they're fairly current. Just close that down there because it gets in the way. And you can see my folder structure. I'll just explain again. I've created a folder called photo gallery. You could create that straight onto your USB stick or hard drive, or in the documents folder like I've done here, and then underneath that I've created a folder called images. So out there, images, and if you have a look, there are my images. So I'll just move that out. So the first thing we need to do is actually optimize these images by making them a little bit smaller. At the moment they're reasonable size, they're 1.76 meg or so depending on the image, so a couple of meg, and that's way too big to put on a web page. So the first thing is to optimize them, make them smaller. It's not so critical to have them tiny nowadays because most people have broadband, but they certainly need to be a little bit smaller than what they are now. So we need to make two sizes. We need to make a size that we can display on a web page, so maybe 400 or 500, 600 even wide, as well as thumbnail type images, which I would put it probably about 100 or 150 pixels wide. So let's start by creating these images and creating, for example, a thumbnail. We can use a variety of packages. I just right mouse button on that. This is my laptop at home, so I have a range of different software on here, and if I click on open with, what it will show me is all of the files that are associated with JPEG images, which is what these files are. So I can open it up in Microsoft Office Word 2010, or I could open up in Picasa, or of course Photoshop. Just depends on what tool I want to do. So I'll start with Microsoft Office 2010 just to go through that. Opens up here, and I'll just click on edit pictures, take it into the edit mode, and I can very simply go down here to resize, and using the percentage area I can scroll the percentage down until I see the right size down here. I'm going to zoom in there so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so if I just drop that down, see how I hold it down, and you can see the size decreasing as we go. What I need to do, because it's such a, almost go down to nothing, so I make it down to 4%. That makes it 104 by 77, which is very small, and a very small percentage of the actual original image. When I'm happy with that, I just click OK. Doesn't like that. Probably way too small. 10% is the size that it wants, so I'll just leave it at 10% for the moment, and then just do it again until again I get it to the right size. So just two stages, it doesn't really make a difference, but you can see the file going down. So it's 401, that'll do, 101 by 76. Click OK, and there you see on my 1920 by 1080 widescreen the size of the image. You can just zoom it in there, you can see, and then down this side, let's have a look, you can see the actual now new size of the image. So what I can do is I can save it, and just so that I know that it's a thumbnail, just go up here, click File, Save As, because I don't want to lose my original. I'll keep the name of the photo just so that it matches with what I've got, but right next to it I'll just put T. Now how's that? That way I know that it's the thumbnail version of that image. And click Save. So now I have that little image saved. Zoom back out. I can close that for the moment. Don't want to save the actual original one, so I'll just go Don't Save. And then if I just go up here, refresh, here's my thumbnail image, and you can see the specs on that, 101 by 76. So it's a nice little thing. And the idea is that using whatever tool I want to do, I do the same thing with all of these images, create a thumbnail version of them. So I keep the original, so I go Save As and create a thumbnail. So it doesn't really matter what file editing or image editing package you use, just make them down to a size that's reasonable, and if possible make them all a similar size. Mine, I've got some, might just not use that one perhaps because it's a portrait one. If I'm going to use the portrait one, obviously probably better to put them all on the same line as a table just to keep it consistent.